It was the greatest scientific discovery in human history, a working time travel machine. The inventor, a renowned physicist, had just one shot at changing history. 3 years ago, his daughter died in a car accident. He failed to protect her. Now he could go back in time and save her. He found the spot where she crashed and hid. In the bushes nearby, he saw her bike approaching. It was going faster than usual. Suddenly, a truck turned the corner. It didn't slow down. It didn't even swerve. It just kept going straight for his daughter. Everything went according to plan. He arrived safely in the past and began observing the town from afar. His daughter was 10 years old and everything seemed normal. But would that change history for better or for worse? There was only one way to find out. At first, she showed no signs of the accident. She didn't even remember her old life. She had no memory of her old life. Had he really saved her if she wasn't his daughter anymore? But as time went on, scars, both physical and mental, began to appear. He entered the machine and set the timer for exactly 18 years before his daughter's death. The driver cursed at him, but he didn't care. Just when he thought it couldn't get any worse, he discovered why. The moment he arrived in the past, the sky turned black and lightning struck the ground beside him. "Sir, your daughter, she's not getting any better. We need to perform emergency surgery." When he saved her from the truck, she developed a rare blood disease. The surgery was risky, but it was his only hope. When he brought her home, a fire broke out and she was burned pretty badly. Was she a harbinger of death? Did his love for his daughter have the power to destroy the world? They had to be kept in check. He pulled his daughter off the bike and hid her in the bushes. If his daughter was meant to be a force of destruction, then so be it. He would let the world end, not because he was a bad father, but because he was willing to do anything to protect his own bloodline. She didn't make it. She led him into a room filled with medical equipment. She was destined to have a terrible accident, suffer for the rest of her life, and die at the age of 30. Was saving her life really worth it? What happened? He asked. The nurse pointed to a monitor. He had saved her life, but at what cost? Your daughter, she didn't have a pulse when we got her. We used a defibrillator to restart her heart. And now there are complications. She has severe brain damage and won't make it through the night. Then he walked over to the road and stopped the next passing car. He explained the situation and asked for a ride to the hospital. He waited 2 more weeks until the day of her accident. Doctors took his daughter inside. He waited anxiously in the lobby, but soon his face broke into a smile. She made it. He had saved her life. He came out of the bush and flagged the truck down. They arrived just in time. But then a nurse came out and approached him. "Sir, we need to talk." He felt his hopes crashing down. All this for nothing. Maybe he should have let nature run its course. Then he heard a familiar voice. "Dad, is that you?" His daughter was awake. She looked at him with blank eyes. She didn't recognize him. He returned to the future, bringing his daughter back with him. He watched helplessly as his daughter grew up believing her father was a stranger. He tried to fix things by going back in time again, but this time something was different. He shook it off and continued to observe his daughter. But every time he tried to intervene, something terrible happened. He watched in horror as his daughter's life was ruined over again. In the hospital room, the nurse approached him with a worried expression. He knew what was coming. He had read the research papers. As he watched them bring his daughter into the operating room, he thought about all the times he had saved her and the disasters that followed. The doctor came out of the operating room and beckoned for him to come closer. "How is she?" he whispered. The doctor shook his head. He stumbled out of the hospital and collapsed onto a nearby bench. That's when he realized the truth. His daughter was an unbreakable time knot. No matter what he did, she could not be killed. He cried out in frustration. Why? Why was his daughter such a special case? The answer came to him in a flash. She wasn't just any ordinary girl. She was his daughter, the product of his bloodline, the vessel of his legacy. His genes were too powerful for this world. That's why she kept dying. It was a safeguard, a failsafe to keep him in check. He looked up at the dark sky. Maybe it was for the best.